Golden Boy confirms that there is a chance that Billy Joe Saunders does not get the Canelo fight after all. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up right now for the ESPN Plus bundle. That's what we're promoting, the ESPN Plus bundle. That's ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. Get all three of them. One price, $12.99 a month. Maybe help you during this lockdown, this shutdown, and a lot of people being quarantined. If you are still in the workforce and deemed essential business, my prayers go out for you. Just stay safe, and together we could beat this thing. But for the people locked at home, jobs, been laid off, or their jobs have closed and furloughed or temporarily shut down, and you need something to do, check that out. There's a lot of content on there, and I personally have all three. Link in the description of all my videos. If you're interested in signing up, click the link. We working. Now I'll link this in the description box. Billy Joe Saunders warned over Canelo fight, you'll have to pay the price, and it's a video from Sirius XM, the Ak and Barack show, and basically Golden Boy president Eric Gomez is saying that there's a chance when boxing resumes that Canelo may not fight Billy Joe Saunders. Quote, there's certain things you can't joke about, and what Billy Joe Saunders, he's gonna have to pay the price for it. Eric Gomez reacts to Billy Joe Saunders' suspension, possibly not facing Canelo upon boxing's return. Wow. In this, he also said that he says when Canelo comes back, we didn't do this to him. So if he's ineligible to compete and he's not able to fight because he has a suspension, and let's clear this up with the suspension. As of right now, to my knowledge, Billy Joe Saunders is only suspended in the UK. There's a lot of people who are referencing this suspension and saying his boxing license in general is suspended. But again, to my knowledge, the BOXINGEGO has had reoccurring issues with Billy Joe Saunders, so they have chosen to suspend his British boxing license. So when the Rona situation pandemic subsides, that doesn't necessarily mean he won't be eligible to fight, because Canelo wasn't going to fight Billy Joe Saunders in the UK anyway. They were going to fight in Las Vegas, right? So that doesn't mean whatever jurisdiction the BOXINGEGO has over UK fights and in their territories, that doesn't mean they govern boxing. And, boxing is just the wild, wild west like that. So I just want to clarify that, because a lot of people think he's suspended unilaterally. But again, boxing's like the wild, wild west. There's no there's no uniformity, no one organization that rules, supreme. And sometimes different commissions allow different things. Look at the situation with Danny Jacobs on DAZN fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. couldn't get his license in both California or Nevada because he ducked and dodged a VADA test, yet Eddie Hearn was able to finagle and, stall out and get, they had hearings and stuff, and stall him out to make the fight in Arizona. So two West Coast states, California and Nevada, refused to allow and sanction the fight to happen, but Arizona, which is right next to him, they did. So you never really know. Same way, even before UCAD quote unquote said Dillian White's clear to fight, Eddie Hearn had already scheduled him to fight in Saudi Arabia. So these are just a few examples of how we don't have one sanctioning body that rules over everybody. So I don't know what'll happen with Billy Joe Saunders. I've already made my remarks regarding that. Before I get into a few more of my comments, let me close up with Golden Boy Eric Gomez. He said, quote, I haven't seen the video, but I heard about it. I saw the headlines and it doesn't surprise me. He's done stuff like that in the past, Gomez said to Sirius XM Radio. He's an outspoken kid and he likes to fool around and play around, but you can't fool around with that kind of stuff whether he was joking or whatever, I don't know whether he was joking or not. There's certain things you can't joke about. What he did, he's going to have to pay the price for it. As far as Canelo's concerned, we have different plans in place for when all these restrictions are lifted. It's going to be up to Canelo what he wants to do. But yeah, if Billy Joe Saunders is ineligible and he isn't going to be able to fight because of the suspension, then of course he's going to be eliminated. There's nothing we can do about it. He did that to himself. Says the WBO is considering its options, etc. So now we'll go back to my thoughts, but link in the description if you want to read this in its entirety. Billy Joe Saunders, I don't know, like Eric Gomez is saying, it's up to Canelo. See, but my thing is this: Billy Joe Saunders, with this foolish video that he came out with, and if you don't know what the video is about, check my past videos, because I'm not going to keep triggering the YouTube algorithm by mentioning this heinous stuff that he's talking about. So just get on a Google search and type Billy Joe Saunders video, and I'm pretty sure you can find it out. But he's basically advocating for the wrong things. We live in a PC society. You and maybe your close friends or family or something think this is funny, but during a crisis such as the pandemic we're in with the Rona, I don't think anyone's particularly finding these things amusing, especially when there's people whose lives and kids and stuff are already endangered because they are, trapped in these situations where they're on a lockdown, stuck with the culprit, the person who could be abusive. And Billy Joe Saunders thinks this is funny. Like, this is a real life situation. Like, who does this? And again, the timing is perhaps the most macabre thing about it, is he's doing it during a crisis. Like, they're talking about the economy may go into a Great Depression type of recession, or back when the real, after 9/11 and the real estate market crashed and stuff like that. We could be upon those type of times, depending on how long this lasts, how many people are claimed by this, the lingering effects, what happens with jobs, when people can go back to work, all these types of things. And this man is trying to allegedly cheer people up by suggesting that they do some devilish things at this point. So Eric Gomez, he said it as well. He did this to himself, and there's certain things you can't joke about. It's just not even a laughing matter. Like, I thought the whole purpose of a joke is to be funny. There's nothing really that was funny about it. And it's bad when, a promoter was willing to work with you. They're saying it. Your own promoter, Eddie Hearn, said it was idiotic. And he's like, man, he has a good heart, but he just does some foolish things and takes 8 steps back and blah, blah, blah. Me, I look at it like this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for Billy Joe Saunders. He just, a week before this, he prank called Delta Airlines and got his buddies kicked off, said they had the Rona. So clearly he thinks this pandemic is funny, and he thinks that, the people who are potentially suffering from it, maybe because he's well off and got some money through boxing, he's not analyzing, he's not humanizing it and looking like these are real people's lives in uncertain times. Just because you have a Ferrari or whatever car you drive through your labor and, the fruits of your labor, doesn't mean everybody is not. I know people personally that their anxiety's through the roof right now because either they got laid off or fired from their job or got to get unemployment, which is foreign to them. They've been working at this company for X, Y, and Z, or they might have to work still. Their business is deemed as essential, and they got to still work. So they got to work with other people and hope that they don't end up getting sick because they have kids and stuff. So this is just, it was just pure stupidity from Billy Joe Saunders. So to me, I feel like he didn't want to fight Canelo. He didn't want to fight Andrade, because before both of your big fights with Andrade and Canelo, especially Canelo, you probably get a career high payday from it and a hell of an opportunity. Andrade, you would have probably made good money too, and a hell of an opportunity. But before these big fights, which would be the best and biggest fights that you've had in your career, let alone in the last few years, there's no fight that I could think of that Billy Joe Saunders has had in recent memory, last 2-3 years, that would topple matches with Andrade or Canelo. And he does these stupid prank videos, one with the homeless lady on drugs and offering her drugs and telling her to hit innocent bystanders. And he fails a drug test for the Andre fight. And now the Canelo fight's coming up. And then now he's in the hot seat. He lost his UK license. And even if the UK is the only one to suspend his license for the misconduct and the WBO does nothing, which we don't know. We don't know what they'll decide to do. It hasn't been released yet. But if the WBO, let's say they choose to keep him instated as a champion, you still hurt the fight, you know, because some people, they're off it. They're not even going to want to see it. So, you know, the DAZN curse strikes again, because maybe people's interest level was whatever it was for this fight. And then now you've lost some people along the way, because they're definitely not going to support you after. Like, I know several women that watch boxing, you know, and some people might not support just because of Billy Joe Saunders. They might not want to support him just because he said some stupid stuff, you know, and just there's men too, you know. So all in all, it's a foolish and costly mistake. See, that's what I'm saying. People gotta really look. Billy Joe Saunders, he pretended to be a policeman. Right before you're about to fight Andre, you feel like doing all these prank videos. Boxer Billy Joe Saunders pretends to be a policeman and forces a man to strip in his car. Why do you want to see a man naked? You know, like, you want to see a man naked that bad where you commit a felony? Well, I don't know in the UK, but you can't impersonate a police officer or a peace officer in America. Like, it's just weird behavior from this guy. He just doesn't get it. So I don't know what Canelo will decide. I guess we have to wait and see. But as Eric Gomez and Golden Boy is saying, he might have screwed himself to the point where even if Canelo wanted to fight him as a tune-up before the Golovkin 3 fight, they might skip over him now because he did some stupid stuff. And it's not even a favorable fight now because, you know, people like, you know, watching for Canelo, but they damn sure not watching in America because of Billy Joe Saunders, because they feeling him. He was named the donkey of the day on the Breakfast Club. It was promoted, or not promoted, but it was reported on TMZ and CNN and Yahoo Sports, New Media. We talked about it. I was the first one to talk about it on YouTube. You know, he just did himself absolutely no favors. I'll keep you posted on the situation. That's the latest. Let me know what you guys think. New Media, we control the narrative. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.